help you understand why most Americans are not financially secure. Like what sort of what's going on statistically, why it happens, and drill deeper into that. For whatever reason, that just popped into my head today. And so if you give me 1 second here, you're also gonna get a text message. If you're not on the text message list for this class, I'll tell you how to get on there. But I assume all of you are because you came into the Zoom. And so let me tell everybody the class is starting because I know that we're running a little bit late today. So here's the deal. It's pretty much assumed in America that you're not going to be financially secure. And the reason that financial security is not something that's taught in school is because they need people to go to work every day. People that are financially secure, they don't go to work every day. They may not want, most of them don't. And most of them don't do things that they don't want to do. And so ultimately, in order to keep you disciplined and keep you on your toes, a lot of the goal is to keep you in a situation where you make money, you spend it all, and then you got to go back to work so you can make more money again. And so for today, in terms of money in the morning and our topic, I want to talk about some of the data on financial security, some alarming statistics that you want to share with your kids, and also ways to kind of address some of that, right? And I put that link in there on a training I did called The Secrets to Financial Security. And if you learn these things, then you're going to have insights. It's going to heighten your financial consciousness. But in addition to that, if your kids learn these things early, they'll know what to look out for. They'll know which assumptions they have to change in order to put themselves in a better economic position than they were before. So let me give you some stats on financial security. So first of all, 33% of adults in America right now, this is crazy. It's according to Ramsey Solutions, Dave Ramsey's team. 33% of American adults are struggling or in crisis with their finances. 33%, so one out of every three, 86 million people. That's not really normal. That's not normal. It's not healthy. Also, 53% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and it's not just low income people, but even 36% of those earning over 100,000 a year. So 36% of all people earning over 100,000 a year are living paycheck to paycheck. That's not normal. That's not healthy. That's not a good thing. That's kind of weird. That's a little bit weird. And what one of the things that I speculate is really going on right now is that part of the if you think about this, right? So let's say that so if I tell you that that this massive percentage of people was it 53% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. That statistic is kind of shocking, but it's kind of like a reflection of the times. But what if I said something like, what percentage of Americans um have a job, right? The number you would expect the number to be much higher. Or if I say, what percentage of Americans went to public school? It's going to be very, very high, right? Or what percentage of Americans are on Instagram? What percentage of Americans watch TV? It will be very, very high. And why is it high? Well, it's high because it's part of the culture. It's high because that's part of your training. It's high because from an early age, you just it was normalized. This was seen to be the goal. Or if I say what percentage of Americans are in a relationship with someone of the opposite sex, right? So the things that are normalized, the things that we study, we know, we believe in, we teach, these are the things that we do. So part of the reason that most people are not financially secure is because there's not someone there like say me, maybe I could be that guy for you who would talk to a little kid and say, the most important thing for you financially is not to get a job. The most important thing for you financially is not to get a college degree. The most important thing for you financially is not for you to get money so you can go to the mall. The most important thing for you financially is to make sure you are safe, right? To make sure that you are good, to make sure that you're going to be okay, right? And if children are taught this at an early age, and they just see that as a core value, then you're going to see a rapid increase in the number of people that are financially secure. Like, for example, anybody remember there was a time a long time ago where the most important thing for a woman to do was to get married, and then men too. Men, if you didn't get married by 25 or something, people would say, "What's wrong with you? Why are you wasting her time?" And or what, you're going to be an old maid, right? It was terrible, right? It was high pressure, right? But still. people did it. A lot more people got married back in the day where everyone said, "Look, if you want to be seen as a man, you got to have a family. A man who does not have a family is not a man at all." That's the language, and it still exists in some cultures. There are cultures around the world where men who are 35, 40 years old and they're just running around just sleeping with different women and having different relationships, they're looked at as little children because you're not a boss of anything. You're not running a family, you're not running a household. You're a child. You're a little boy. And so so really at the end of the day, the culture that you shape will determine the incentives and of the people that are in that culture. It determines the objectives of those people. Now, I forgot something. I don't know why this didn't do I this had slipped my mind earlier, but I'm going to go ahead and stop for a minute and let you all know that today is my birthday. Not because I'm just bragging about it. I saw a couple of y'all for some reason some of y'all knew it was my birthday. I don't know how the hell y'all found out that today was my birthday. But thank you, Francois knew. And I have no idea how Francois knew. But and Denise Bryant knew. So y'all must really love me and I love you too. And I appreciate you very, very much. And so so maybe I could just do my birthday dance. Like, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Okay. All right. Birthday dance is over. So thank you very much for all the well wishes. I appreciate it. I am feeling good. My wife and my family, they're going to take me to a VR place. We're going to go do VR where you put on the headset and the earphones and you shoot at stuff. And so I'm excited. I'm super excited. I'm a real VR enthusiast. That's one of the reasons why I'm a big investor in Facebook, Meta, is because I believe that Meta really understands the future when it comes to VR. They're just so good at making money. They're going to start making money on WhatsApp pretty soon. They're going to start putting ads on there. They got great stuff going on with AI. We talked about that the other day, how Meta's offering these $100 million bonuses to AI experts. And I told you all, I think it's probably a little more nuance than that. I think they're actually acquiring companies and not just hiring employees. But either way, though, that's a signal for your kids, right? You know, your kids are going to college and stuff, and they're trying to figure out what to study. Maybe becoming an AI expert is pretty lucrative, at least right now. So anyway, so I'm super happy, and also on top of that, I got my visa to go to Ghana. I'm going to Ghana next month. We're doing our group trip. I'll let you guys know what the next group trip is. I think the next one we're gonna do something domestic. I want to do like a black tour of DC or something. And I know we want to go to Black Wall Street. I told you about the Liquid Lounge in the Greenwood section, run by Cody Ransom, who's in the Black Business School, who's a really great guy. And so so those are some things we might do instead of just doing another international trip right away. And I'll invite you all if you want to join us. All right, so let's hop back in and let's talk about Americans not being financially secure. So most Americans are economically screwed. I think that it's because of the culture. Let's keep going here. Here's some more stats that'll kind of blow your mind. 42% of Americans have no emergency savings at all, which is crazy, and nearly 40% couldn't cover a $1,000 emergency expense. That's a very, it's so funny. I hear people say that they don't invest in the stock market because it's too risky. And I say, well, I think living paycheck to paycheck is riskier than having assets in the stock market. Like if I take, a percentage of my money and I end up having 20 grand in the stock market and someone says, well, that's risky to have $20,000 sitting there that you can just go to at any time you want, right? That's too risky. That's why I don't put my money in the market. But then I'm like, but you're living paycheck to paycheck, sir. Like that's really risky because if your boss wakes up and has a bad day, that he can ruin your life with that. Like he's got the power. He's the god of thunder in your life. He can literally disrupt everything that keeps you sane and safe. Whereas my 20 grand in the stock market, maybe I have a really bad day and the 20 grand turns into 18 grand. Maybe it even turns into 16 grand, but I'm still pretty safe, right? And even then when it turns into 16, I can buy more stock because the stock market goes down and it usually goes back up, which means you get to make money on the rise. So if you understand stock market investing, again, this was my dissertation topic. That's why I love to talk about it. It's the number one wealth driver in America. You'll know that typically what goes down comes back up. Not every stock, but the market as a whole, collectively. When it goes down, it's never ever gone down and stayed down. I don't know who made up the lie and told and shared the myth that the stock market was going to crash and just go to zero and you're going to lose all your money. When really the best way to lose all your money, the number one way to lose your money is here's what I want you to do. Instead of going to the stock market because we that's so scary. I want you to go and I want you to go to Walmart with your money. And I want you to go to Walmart on Black Friday and I want you to spend $5,000 in Walmart and Black Friday, and then I want you to see how much money you have after you're done spending your last $5,000 in Walmart. I want you to see, I want you to watch your money go from $5,000 to zero, where you get a negative 100% return on your investment. Now, in exchange, they're going to give you stuff. They're going to give you like a TV, maybe some outfits, maybe some toys. But a lot of these items are going to be worthless in about 5 or 6 years, right? They are, they really are. But if I go take that same $5,000 and I go buy me some Walmart stock, I take the 5,000, I go buy me some Nike stock, buy me some at Starbucks. I guarantee you that I bet every nickel in my bank account that $5,000 will not be zero in 5 years. In fact, there's a good chance that $5,000 will go out and it's going to go make friends. My money is fertile, so my money's going to go to the club and meet some girls and bring home some friends. And next thing you know, I'm not going to have $5,000. I'm going to have $10,000. Those dollar bills they give birth to other dollar bills. They have little dollar bill babies. And so if you're a consistent investor and you are investing as much as people spend, it's easy to get people to spend. People spend, 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 spend. I think that you should also invest at the same caliber that you spend. People that invest aggressively and consistently, not only do they tend to have money, but they also tend to have more money than others, and their money actually grows and starts to make money for them. So don't let anybody talk you out of that. That these are facts. This is based on data. What else? Another fact, only 41% of Americans said they could tap savings to cover a $1,000 expense. I think I mentioned that, sorry. An Empower survey shows that 21% of Americans have zero emergency savings, 37% can't even cover a $400 emergency, which is very scary. Just 36% of households have a documented long-term financial plan. That's interesting. I think that number will be much lower here because we've talked to you about building your 100-year plan for your family. If you want help with that, or you want to join us in our family business meetings we do once a month, just go to economicelevationcircle.com. That's economicelevationcircle.com. Economicelevationcircle.com. Somebody type that in the chat. We're going to have an economic elevation circle meeting soon. All right, so this is our economic elevation training. So I said, let's do a circle where we can talk. I'll break down some stuff. You could talk to me, tell me about what your family's trying to do. And I want you to think big. I want you to be proud. I want you to honor what you have and who you are and what you can become. Don't judge yourself based on what you have, judge yourself based on what you're going to have. Don't look at where you are, look at where you're going. Where you're going is always more important than where you are or where you've been. And the last one is that this is a big one. This is why my wife and I created the Black Financial Therapy Department. 63% of Americans say money is a major source of stress. 63% of Americans, that's two-thirds of all Americans suffer from the same financial STD, and that is financial anxiety. Financial anxiety is one of the biggest diseases out here known to man. And what's fascinating to me is that it's also one of the most undiagnosed, untreated diseases out there. I don't think that the government's ever going to do that because your government runs on debt. And because they run on debt, they understand something. They understand that if that they're kind of like a drug dealer, right? A drug dealer is never going to really want to truly help a drug addict. The drug dealer does not want the drug addict to get off the dope. I mean, he might care. He might like in his heart kind of want you to not do things that are going to kill you. But then he realizes, wait a minute, if I end your addiction, then I kill my financial life, right? I destroy my own economic situation because I'm living off of you. I become the parasite. This is why drug dealers are terrible. This is why hip hop was so bad. Hip hop got us glorifying drug dealers, which is the sickest thing known to man. And so the government and corporate America, these are the parasites that live off of your consumer addiction. Do you follow what I'm saying? They need you to stay on that dope so that they can keep that money going. When you get off the dope, then they lose all hope. So at the end of the day, if you don't make the decision yourself to fix that, then it'll never be fixed. The same thing is true in the area of, I see Shanita's bringing up medicine, Western medicine. Yeah, there's a whole economy built around not healing your illness. They're healing. Why would they heal you? Because then you ain't gonna be a customer no more. Their shareholders measure their success based on ARR and MRR. That's annual recurring revenue. That's monthly recurring revenue. They need recurring revenue. They don't need you to make a whole bunch of money, get the cure, and then leave. No, they need you coming back every month to get your medication. They need you to, they're like, okay, in order for us to properly milk the cow, you're the cow. It's a, you're the cow. In order for us to properly milk the cow, we got to keep on pumping the rudders. We can't just stop. We can't just do it one time, right? So basically, the medical system is built around managing illness. It's not built around curing anything. If you want the cure, you got to step out of the system and find the cure, and that's hard to do because some people pretend to have cures and they really don't, and it becomes a little bit confusing. But this is the downside of capitalism when you build when you can build an economy around anything. You can build an economy around anything. And the fact that you built an economy around managing sick people is a very sick thing. The fact that we built economies around psychiatric medication, and therefore Americans became the most overdiagnosed group of people in America. My wife was talking to me just last night. She was speaking to another therapist who's a high-powered therapist who literally runs all of the therapy for an entire large county. And she said there is a mental health crisis like nobody, like you would not believe. People are going crazy out here. And I said, what's going on? She said, one is the election of Donald Trump that's caused a lot of people stress and anxiety. And then the other one is the post-pandemic. The pandemic made people crazy. And I said, you know what? I think people just need to turn their phones off. Like, stop scrolling. So stop finding something mad. Stop finding something to be mad about on Instagram every day. Because I'm not saying these things don't matter, but this is not really your real life. This is not your real life. This is a story. These are all stories that are out here, right? Not to say that Iran and all that's not important. I'm not saying, but I'm saying you stressing out is not going to change Iran's nuclear program, right? You having a bad day is not going to stop Benjamin Netanyahu from bombing Tehran. Okay, do you understand? Like, so my point is to say that I think that, as Levon said, everybody who wants to be mentally healthy, anybody like really value mental health, let's be conscious for a minute. Give me a yes in the chat if you are a person who values your mental health, values your peace, wants to be in a place where you're feeling good and secure and safe and calm and everything else. If you value your mental health, I strongly encourage you to consider taking social media detoxes. Social media, if you study it, it was designed to make you into a crackhead. It was designed to be addictive. It's very straightforward. What they do is they just simply manipulate your dopamine levels and they randomize it. They do what casinos do. They study what casinos do. How casinos get people to stay in there gambling all night and just staying up all night gambling all that, right? Well, they use the same tactics. And what's really really scary about it is that they're doing this to children. So they're wiring children's brains at an early age. And you look at some of these kids, these poor kids, they can't pay attention to nothing for more than 5 seconds. Their attention span is like boop 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 boop. So how in the hell are you expecting to build long-term wealth when you don't even have a damn attention span? Right, right? Like how can really, I mean, wealth is a long-term process. I hate to break it to you, but it doesn't happen overnight. So how in the hell do you think you can engage in the long-term process, the sacred process of wealth building that takes years and years and years to do when you are addicted to instant gratification? It's very difficult to do. It's very difficult. So the detox is something I recommend for everybody that wants to be normal. I have to take detoxes. I lost, I was so mad at Facebook. I lost my whole damn everything on that. That one day I woke up, they said your account's been banned. It was a little traumatizing because I had on my personal account, I had 5,000 friends, people that I normally didn't talk to, people I never would have heard from again if it wasn't for my Facebook page. They would just find me and hit, and ask me to friend them, and I would. I'd be like, oh, that's so and so from high school, whatever. So literally, all these people were wiped out. And then on top of that, I had about 3 or 4 million on different business pages. That was a lot of that was gone too, and so it was very sad. But then about a week or two in, my wife was like, "Well, how do you feel about that?" And I said, I feel good. I feel really, relax now. I feel focused. I don't feel like I'm not sort of instant scrolling and responding to something all the time. I get to just chill out a little bit. So so I would say to you, if you ever really want to elevate yourself, do a social media detox, because it's a great business model for them. It's not so good for you. But I do think social media can be beneficial because for a lot of you, you wouldn't even know me if it wasn't for social media. So I'm not anti-social media all the way around the board. I just think that it's a powerful tool that can be very dangerous if that powerful tool is used inappropriately. Like a car. A car is very powerful. So it can be beneficial, it can be an asset, or it can be an extreme liability. So if you get a car, the best advice you can get if you get a new car is to learn how to drive. So social media is the new car. We've all got a fancy new car. We all need to learn how to drive. And you need to be in control of the car. Do not let the car control you. That thing will kill you. That thing will destroy you. A lot of young people are suffering significant amounts of depression because of what they're dealing with in social media as well. So circling back, just to be complete in terms of the discussion today. And by the way, I'll put that link in there one more time for that. Let me see here. Yeah, if you want that, I did that I put together that training on the secrets to financial security. I just hope that you'll consider watching it with your family. It takes about maybe an hour. It's an hour and a half. So I do a deep dive on this, and it's something that I know will make a big difference for you in terms of really understanding what financial security looks like. And it's really unfortunate. It's crazy that they don't teach this in public schools, but it's in there in the chat. So feel free to click on that and then let me know what you think because I personally believe that our people, B1 people, intelligent Black people, should lead the way when it comes to valuing the things we need to value. What are the things that I believe in valuing? Number one, your financial security. We talked about that. Number two, family. Family is a form of financial security. I think that's critical. What else should you value? Your mental and physical health. We've already discussed that. And then I think that's pretty much, if you value those things, I think you're in good shape. I really think you're going to be doing okay. Now, let's see. Okay, it looks like you guys were talking about Circle stock. Yeah, Circle is an interesting company because they're involved in this in these things called stable coins, which are basically these coins that are that allow for liquidity within mostly cryptocurrency, or allows an escape from the banking system to some extent. And stable coins are interesting because they for a long time they were not properly regulated and they were kind of living on the fringes of the economic system. Now the Genius Act has kind of pulled them into the economic system in a significant way. And Circle stock has been absolutely insane. I mean, if I thought about it more before they came out, I would have jumped in that IPO. I would have already bought it. I just didn't. Stable coins weren't on my mind at the time. And this stock has gone up like 300%. And I understand why. It's because stable coins are really opening a gateway to costless financial transactions. What happens is companies like Visa and MasterCard charge, fees to run money through the banking system. And what stable coins do is they allow you to get rid of all those fees. So Visa and MasterCard, when Circle went shot up, Visa and MasterCard stock shot down, and now Visa and MasterCard are trying to get in on the stablecoin game, but I don't know if they're going to be able to overcome the fact that the world has just gotten smarter about how to move money around. You can move money around 24 hours a day, no across international borders with no transactions. That is huge. Transactions cost are a big part of global finance. Banks make a ton of money just from fees and saying, well, you want to send money to your cousin in Ecuador. Well, we can only do it Monday, and it's going to take 3 days for it to get there, and then you're going to have to pay a remittance fee in order for the money to go through. Circle's eliminating all that. There's another company called Tether that competes with Circle, but Tether is not regulated. I like Circle a lot. Other companies are embracing Circle, and I think it's going to be a huge catalyst. Another way to participate if you want to be in that stablecoin business is companies like Coinbase. Coinbase stock is expected to benefit from the existence of companies like Circle. The ticker symbol for Circle, I think, is CRCL. I believe it's CRCL. Coinbase is the one I just bought. I literally picked up my phone a second ago and I hit a button and I bought shares of Coinbase. I should have mentioned that to you. I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm telling you what I just did. And because I was like, yeah, I think I want to deepen my investment in Coinbase because I believe Coinbase has some room to run. I think that one of the big things you got to keep on worrying about though is that there are a lot of signals that we could have a market decline or a market crash sometime this year. I just don't feel good about where we are. I feel like things are a little bit overpriced. But then at the same time, you could have catalysts. Trump wants to cut taxes. That's a catalyst for stock market investors. Also, the Fed wants to lower interest rates at some point. When they lower interest rates, that'll be a positive catalyst for the market as well. So even though we know it can happen, we know that I just have this feeling that there's going to be a bad day at some point soon. You cannot just walk away. You can't walk away and sit and try to wait for the bad day to happen. You can just you keep doing what you're doing. Or I'm not telling you what to do. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, and then make sure that when the bad day does happen, I don't freak out and panic. I just go in and buy some cheap stocks and then see what happens next. So anyway, that's it. I hope that that was helpful to you. Don't forget, the real estate club meets tonight. We're going to have Don Matthews, who's an expert on international real estate, how to buy real estate property all around the world. I know a lot of you have talked about buying property in Ghana and places like that. Don is a person that can help you with that. So if you want to join the real estate club, just go to drboycerealestate.com. That's drboycerealestate.com. And also, if you have any questions about anything you're doing in the Black Business School, we have a great support team. Write down this email address. It's support at theblackbusinessschool.com. That's support at theblackbusinessschool.com. And last but not least, thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it very, very much. I'm going to be partying tonight with my family at the VR place. I cannot wait. Like, I'm genuinely super excited. Like, if you've ever done VR, like if you get used to it, you won't stop doing it. I promise you. I play VR golf and it's like it feels like I'm playing golf. It feels like I'm really at the golf course. It's the best. It's amazing. You just have it hasn't been widely adopted because people have a hard time trying new things. I compare virtual reality to being on the internet, what that was like for a long time. Do you know that before the pandemic happened, I was telling Alicia, I said, I don't know why more people are not doing business and using the internet more. I don't know why more people aren't doing stuff on YouTube and other places. Like, and because they kind of looked at the internet as like this other place over there. Like if you have a business, it's not legitimate if it's just on the internet. And I was like, no, I like doing things online. I can reach more people this way. Also, I like working from home. Working from home is awesome. I don't like going to the office every day. And it was really hard to convince her and others that this was actually a better life. And then the pandemic hits. Suddenly 100 million people are online. And I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. It's like living in a little town, and suddenly everybody's coming to the same town you live in, and everybody's going through that process that I've been talking about, which was they were like, gosh, now that I stay home every day, I don't want to go back to the office. They had a hard time getting people to go back to work. Now, a ton of people who weren't doing anything online are starting to do things online. And even with one of the first calls I got during that time was when Ice Cube called, and it was kind of cool. He was one of my favorite rappers when I was a kid, and he literally, I remember him saying that the reason that he was doing the stuff he was doing. He did that activism where he put together the contract with Black America, but he worked with scholars and thinkers to do it. I read it to say, okay, what is this? Is this any good? And I was super impressed. They really did a thorough job. And the reason he did a great job was because he understands how to build a team. Really, and who knows, maybe it's that West Coast gang mentality, right? Where you understand that you're stronger as a group, right? That you understand that you don't have to do it all by yourself, nor should you try. So maybe, who knows? I don't know. I'm extrapolating here. I'm speculating, but I'm wondering, right? Think about this. Like a lot of my friends on the East Coast are very a lot of New Yorkers are out for self. Like Jay-Z out for self, and I met a few of them, the Russell Simmons and the who isn't actually Russell's very community oriented, so he doesn't count. But some of these interesting characters in New York that are just like, I'm gonna take care of me and that's it. Whereas you go out to the West Coast, you have a lot more of the gang culture maybe, right? Which is like team building, right? So like even Tupac, when he did Hit 'Em Up, he had a whole bunch of, your clique and your clique you claim, West Side, when we ride, coming quick with game, right? So you had this group of people. So anyway, I think I'm gonna speculate that Ice Cube did a great job with the contract with Black America. Well, you got to read it. It's really good. He did a great job because he understood that we're all in the same gang and that we're better off working together. So what he did, and I will always give him credit for that, is he reached out to scholars. I was reading it and I saw references from like, I'm an Ohio State Buckeye. And I remember there was a professor from Ohio State that was a big part of the project. And just these other people, and he called me and wanted my assessment on the economic side of things. And I was like, this is really cool. This is what power should be used for. Power shouldn't be wasted just showing off and just trying to be a big shot. It should be used for gang affiliation. We pull the gang together, the B1 gang, and we get it done together as a group, and we support each other. We depend on each other. We work together. We lean on each other's expertise. One. So we're gonna have a gang summit. The B1 gang summit is called the All Black National Convention, but ain't gonna be no drive-bys and all that other stuff. But the B1 gang summit at the All Black National Convention happens August 21st to the 23rd. It's going to be in Atlanta at a very nice hotel. And if you guys want to join us, just go to allblacknationalconvention.com. That's allblacknationalconvention.com. And also, as I mentioned, if you are an expert at something and you want to be on a panel, one of the breakout panels, I can't get space for everybody, but I can. We every year we pick a few people out of this group. I go to you guys first because you turn to family first when you have an opportunity. There's the link if you want to apply to be a speaker there. I cannot guarantee anything though, but I can do my best if you're a fit and all that good stuff. Maybe something can be worked out. All right, so there's the link right there in the chat. So anyway, I'm gonna get out of here, guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for the birthday wishes, and I hope this discussion was helpful for you. And don't forget to make sure you're on the text list for this class. If you're not on the text list for this class, text the word morning to the number 87948. Text morning to 87948. God bless you. I'll see you soon. Have a wonderful day. Thank